Welcome back to the channel, everybody. In today's story, we will be going over the story of Albert Austin and how he claims he was kidnapped and held hostage by a family of Bigfoots in the Canadian wilderness. But before we get into that, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. It really helps me out. And remember, Peaches the baby Wampus cat needs her cat, as well as I need. And please, help us reach 500 subscribers or more, if possible, by the end of the year, which is not too far away, so let's get going. But hopefully we can get there. Now, with that out of the way, people, let's get into the story. In 1924, Albert Austin was doing some prospecting in the Canadian wilderness near Ontario. He says that he was out there for about 4 or 5 days when he started noticing activity going on around him. He says that when the activity was most active at night, and when he finally started hearing the chatter around him, he describes in his account that at first he thought it was porcupines or maybe a bear or possibly something like that. So he didn't really pay any mind to it and made sure there was a fire going in his fire pit. So it went on for like 4 or 5 nights before finally, one night, as Austin got in his sleeping bag and was preparing to settle down and finally went to sleep. He says that all of a sudden he was picked up. He felt something put him over its shoulder. He was picked up and carried away. For about 4 or 5 hours, he was walking and walking until about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. He says that's when it set him down in a valley. And when he finally awoke, there was commotion all around him, and that there were these huge hairy creatures all around him. What he described as large hairy people, large hairy men. And Austin claims that when he finally came to and awoke, he says that the creature had carried him into the valley in his sleeping bag, which also contained food supplies and his rifle. But he didn't feel at all threatened by the Sasquatch creatures. He says that when daylight finally came, he was finally able to see what was making the commotion around him. He was able to see these Bigfoot-like creatures all around him. He says that when he described them as huge, hairy, human-like creatures. The male, he says, was about 7 to 8 feet tall, with almost blackish brownish fur. He was completely covered in hair, and the female was about 6 feet tall, with also covered in hair, and he says there were 4 of them, 2 big ones and 2 small ones. indicating that this was a family. Austin says that he didn't feel threatened by these creatures. He felt they were more curious. But he also felt that he wasn't free to leave either. So he settled down and made his own camp. And when he was finally daybreak, he was still trapped with these Bigfoot. He said that he was with them for 3 or 4 days, depending on the source of the account. And he says that the creatures never harmed him, but they also shared food with him and more were curious than they were and not aggressive. He says when day broke, he made his own camp, and he said he cooked coffee over the fire and made some food and just was preparing for his morning. And he says that the smell from the coffee kind of got their attention and then brought him a little bit closer to him. And the big one, he says that the male one was sitting more than 10 feet away from him. And after that, he was able to see this creature. The creature was most likely interested in the smell of the coffee and such. And that's when Austin came up with an idea for his escape. He described how he escaped was simple. He took out a small can of snuff, which is, if you don't know, it's a kind of tobacco or just a small dried tobacco with, it's not really tobacco, it's a small stuff made out of tobacco. It was like, well, the earliest thing you could get to a cigarette. So he opened a can of the snuff and put it a little bit in his mouth, and then passed the snuff to the creature. So basically, Albert, you were trying to get the Sasquatch high, weren't you? Peaches, get out of the frame! Get your butt out of the frame, Peaches. I'm serious. Peaches. Stop. Peaches. I know you want attention, but this is hardly the time. Everybody who's new, this is Peaches, my co-worker, and she's also a very big celebrity on the channel. Okay, like I was saying, sorry about that. Peaches is just a little rascal. So Austin gave the creatures the snuff, and he says that the big male took it and scarfed it all down. And he says that didn't feel very good or taste very good, so the creature grabbed the coffee can and emptied it all in his mouth. And drained it all, so he says. After that, the creature... Peaches? Anyway, after that, Austin was able to make his escape as the creature ran off, mostly looking for water. After this, he was able to get away and grabbed his rifle and all his supplies and sleeping bag and managed to make his escape. Austin's account is one of many great accounts of Bigfoot, Sasquatch, encounters reported throughout the years in the last decades. Though he died in 1970s, his story was still told by a man known as Mr. Sasquatch. I know that sounds crazy, but you can listen to his story yourself on the TV show Monster Quest, which had an actual reenactment of the whole endeavor of the whole story. So if you want to go see that, you can go check that out on TV or whatever. You can go to Amazon, you can go to Discovery Plus, you can go wherever you find it on TV, and yeah, you can check it out for yourself. Now, don't worry about a thing, guys, because more videos like this is going to come out very soon. And while it was a short video, I hope you really all enjoyed it. I have plans to make another video on Lake Champlain's legendary creature, Champ. And why, Peaches? Really? I'm trying to outro here. Are you just trying to say hi to the audience? Say hi to the audience, Peaches. No, don't lick the computer. Just... Anyway, people, if you all enjoyed this video, please make sure to like it and subscribe to the channel. And please tell Peaches to get out of the frame and don't you put your... Okay, you're just wanting attention. Yeah. So, without all the way, people, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was a short one, but I just felt like sharing that story with you. And if you want more Bigfoot videos, just tell me in the comments. Tell me in the comments, I'll happily bring you more Bigfoot stories. So, without on the way, people, I love you all. Thank you very much for tuning in today. More videos coming soon. I love you all. Peace out. Oh.